Hello and welcome back. A note on the materials. We're going to be using the beginning here. Now, the young adult novel Whip It and the book Race and Sport by Kevin Hilton are available on Amazon.com for direct download. Now, you don't have to have a Kindle to download it, the Kindle software. There is a Kindle reader that is free on Amazon, so if you're worried about those texts, you can get them electronically, not almost immediately, as long as it takes to download. I've also noticed that for the Hilton text, the first chapter is free. So if you're waiting on it, it's almost here, and you want to download that first chapter to read it on Amazon, it looks like it's free. I enjoyed meeting you all, and noticed that most of you don't have very much of a connection to roller derby, but that's just fine. Although it seems like one student has friends who play, but that's okay. We're going to learn a lot about roller derby. To introduce myself a little further, I mentioned my name last time, Brian Hudson. I also want to throw out there that I do play roller derby with the men's team in Oklahoma City here, the OKC Wolfpack. And I'll be putting a link to the link tab if you guys are interested in looking at it. So to get started with our next assignment, there are many ways that we can analyze roller derby cultures. And I say cultures with an S because, as you noticed on that CNN clip, roller derby is a worldwide phenomenon. So there, of course, are many different roller derby cultures because it's so widespread. And in a previous class that I taught as an intersession in last December, we looked at roller derby through the lens of feminist sports studies. So for this class, we're going to look primarily at roller derby primarily through race and sports studies. And this doesn't mean that we won't be able to look at other things, but this will be the primary theoretical way we're going to look at it. And to get a better understanding about the complexities of race, we're going to start out by reading the first chapter of Race and Sport, Critical Race Theory by Kevin Hilton. And like I said, this is available in the bookstore. It is also available through direct download at Amazon. Now, a note on the reading here. Hilton is a sociology professor from England, and the language in the book can be a little bit challenging, but not to worry. What I am going to do is give you questions that I believe will help you focus on a particular line of inquiry that will help you really get what, for this class, is the most important out of the book. So the next assignment is going to be to read that first chapter. That first chapter is entitled Introduction, Defining Key Terms. So I want you to read the first chapter. It's about 21 pages here. And then you're going to answer the questions in the Dropbox. Now this is a different tab than the discussion board, right? So click on the Dropbox tab. The Dropbox, when you click on it, you'll have, there are 3 questions, and the instructions are for answering the questions. Make sure you answer them in your own words, so I really know what you're getting out of the reading and not what Hilton is telling you. I've read the book a few times, so I think I know what Hilton is saying, but I'd like to know what you think Hilton is saying. And then when you upload, for the Dropbox, you upload the file with your answers. I want you to do it in either .doc or .rtf format. That way I'll be able to read it. Now make sure that you do have those answers uploaded by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. And a note on the readings and reading list. Like I said before, on the content tab, I have a reading list that basically tells you what we'll be reading for every day. And if you want to plan on reading a little bit ahead, if you want to have things planned and want to read a little bit ahead, I would suggest doing so with Whippet, because I've had to cut it down to reading the young adult novel in 3 days as opposed to 4. And so we're looking at about 78 pages a day. But not to worry, that sounds like a lot of pages, but it is a young adult novel, and it does read very quickly. So if you do plan on reading ahead, this might be a good time to do so. All right, so we're going to get into looking at the complexities of race, as Hilton lays it out, by answering those questions in the Dropbox. And I will see you next time. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to email me.